this. Lights, rear lights, specifically the brake light on this 2001 GMC Savanna. And I looked it up online. It seems to be a pretty common problem. I guess just because of the design. People are saying that, you know, water kind of leaks through here and gets into the housing, and eventually it causes corrosion on the negative terminal of these bulb sockets here, which on this one I've already fixed. Need to throw some more tape on there. Actually, I was gonna put some caulking on there to try and weather seal it a little bit. But as you can see, basically what I did, per someone's idea online, was basically just burn the housing back with a soldering iron or cut it back. What I did was I took a piece of sandpaper, and what else did I have? I think I had like a knife or a screwdriver, a little flathead screwdriver right here, and just kind of, you know, worked the sandpaper on the negative terminal on the housing here, because the cable was not corroded so much as the housing was, or so much as the connector inside of the housing. So I was just going to make a video on how I did that. Yeah, oh, and I guess I should say the reason I found out that it was a problem was the lower light, the brake light, which shines when you hit the brakes. It basically would just go out when hitting the brakes, but at the same time, it's like when you turn the headlights on, it would run the running lights, but for some reason when you hit the brakes, it would just shut off. Obviously that was due to a grounding issue. Also, as you can see, I kind of soldered that back on there just to make sure I was getting a good connection on there. I mean, other than other than pulling the wires and buying new bulb sockets, which are $12 to $20 a piece. You think if you got to replace 2 or even 6, there's 6 of those things on this rear two light fixtures. It's a decent amount of money, and so I'm just kind of fixing it the ghetto way. Hopefully it works out for a while. If I seal it properly, I feel like it will work for a pretty good while. Anyways, yeah, I'll get to it, and if anybody's interested, keep watching. Alright, so I've got my what is this? Soldering iron ready to go, and this here, let me zoom in a bit. Cool. So this is the harness I was going to try and fix real fast. I say real fast. Start by removing this tape here, which I don't know who put that there. It feels like manufacturer's tape. It's almost as if they knew that something was wrong with it, so they had to reinforce it with some tape. It's almost as if they knew something was wrong with the design, rather. Okay. So anyways, got these clips on the sides. Just pop that off. I'm pulling it a little bit just to keep it unclipped. And boom. This blue clip comes off. It came off pretty easily on the last one. Still got this piece of tape here. There we go. So, clip. I think I forgot to replace that on the other side. On this side, yeah, I definitely did. As you can see, this is the negative terminal, the black cable. And what I'm going to do is basically, well, first I'm going to remove the cable just by pulling on it. Just keep tugging it. No, it's not coming off too easily. I need some pliers or something. Let me just untape this because I'm gonna have to retape it anyways, and put that clip back on. Tape the mess out of this thing. Sorry, I'm probably not going to be able to show you the whole process, but at least you can see what it looks like afterwards, I guess. Alright, so as you can see here, I have basically just, I mean, it looks pretty disgusting, but I basically just burnt a gap all the way back. And as you can see, I soldered it after sanding the corrosion off, and just filled the whole thing with solder. Plugged it back in, filled the whole thing with solder. It's not on there properly either. But yeah, that's basically how it's done. You know, if you just need a quick, cheap fix. I guess I now am going to put some caulking inside of there to prevent liquid from further getting in and causing corrosion. Alright, so I've got my eco caulking here. So basically just going to throw some caulking on here. Really fill that gap properly. I don't know if this is properly, but it's definitely adding some weatherproofing capabilities here. Now if you need your vehicle immediately after, then you can just tape over this if you really, you know, need to get in the vehicle. But I'm going to let this caulking dry, you know, before I try and put tape around it, just to get that extra good seal on there. So hopefully this never has to be replaced again. The life of the vehicle. There we go. It's pretty sealed up right there. Just gonna let that dry overnight, seal it back up. Here I'm having to try and bend this thing back. As you can see, it's got a bit of a loop, and it looks like it got bent when I pulled it out, so I'm just gonna squeeze it back down just a little bit, not too much. You still want it to have some spring action to press against the thing there. There we go. And just gonna do a quick test to make sure that these bulbs still work. However, I need to dangle them across this way so I can actually see when I'm in the driver's seat. Cool, so that first brake press was no headlights. Then I turned both lights on to get the lights ready, and then hitting the brake lights got it to work again. Alright, here we are next day, and the caulking on this light fixture has completely dried now. Looks like it's sealed off pretty well. Shouldn't have any more corrosion issues. Just gonna tape this up. One of the keys to electrical tape when you're applying is you want to stretch the tape out a little bit in order to create a good seal, a good adhesion. Yeah, I think that's good enough. Again, I think the caulking should be more than enough to keep that all good. I guess I will retape this back since it was taped prior. Alright, so this one's the top. You want to keep track of which one's top and bottom too when you're fixing this, because obviously it's going to be in sequence with the other side. Not sequence, but it's going to be lined up with the other side. And you don't want, you know, weird lights. You just might get pulled over for that kind of shit in Madison, Alabama. But yeah, basically just push in and twist. Kind of line up the nodules here, but also this clip part here, the clip right here being stopped by that nodule when it's at rest, so that it does not, well, it's not supposed to come out, but maybe I just don't have it tight enough. Well, it's supposed to stop it, but this is clearly getting a bit old. This notch is keeping it from coming this way, and this one's supposed to keep it from going that other way, but oh, there we go. Now it's stopping. It should be locked up against that side. Really, I was supposed to pull this top plastic housing off here, but I did not realize that until I just barely pulled on it and it snapped the plastic off. Actually, I still need to pull this top part out like I did. So you can see here, I broke that, but this is actually on top of this other one here, so I need to try and get that under. Alright, there we are, finally got it under. Just basically had to pull it out and just kind of slide it in under like that while pulling this out. And that one's lined up too, so I've just got a couple bolts. I'll set down here. It just kind of goes in like that. I'm obviously gonna tighten it down with a wrench. So I got this thing, which fits right up in here. It's a bit of a weather shielding. See if I can try and do this one-handed here. It just clips in like so. Push it in and push that in to kind of expand it, keep it in place. That's lined up. Push that in, push this in. That's number 2 locked in place. Alright, so now I just need to tighten these bolts down here. I've got this for this one. Oh, there's a way. There we go, tighten that down. And place. Alright, I finally found the one that works. It's a 14 millimeter. There we go. Locked in place, looks flush all the way around. Cool. Just need to check if it still works or not. Alright, cool. Hope you guys got some tips out of that, figured out how to cheaply fix your non-working brake lights on your 2001 to probably 2003 GMC Savanna. I don't know the exact years, but I'm sure you can look it up. Anyways, peace, prosperity, and yeah, love your neighbors, right? So I just realized that I completely forgot to put this wire clip back on. So I'm about to disassemble it and put it back on.